You see it all the time, right? That excited, happy wag of a dog's tail. But what if I told you that simple little wag is one of the most misunderstood signals in the entire animal kingdom? Well, today, we're going to crack the code on what your dog's tail is really saying. Let's dive in. So, we've all grown up with this idea. A wagging tail equals a happy dog. Simple. But is that really the whole story? Turns out, that common belief, it's just page 1 of a much more complicated book. The truth is, a dog's tail is actually a super sophisticated signaling device. It's broadcasting everything from pure joy to fear and even a potential warning. So think of this as your personal decoder ring. We're going to learn how to translate this complex language together. To do that, we're going to break it down into 5 key parts. We'll start by looking beyond just happiness. Then we'll decode the tail's height, its speed, and get this, even the direction it wags. And finally, we'll pull it all together so you can see the big picture. Okay, first up, more than just happy. This is where we need to kind of reset our brains. A dog's tail isn't just a joystick, it's a sophisticated signal for a whole spectrum of feelings. At its most basic level, tail wagging is just a communication signal. It's how a dog is broadcasting its internal emotional state. And that state could be anything from, "Oh my gosh, I'm so excited you're home," to, I'm not so sure about this, or even a very clear, "You need to back off." The real meaning is all in the details. And the very first detail to look for is what I like to call the tail's emotional meter, or in other words, its height. You know, just where a dog holds its tail can tell you a surprising amount about its confidence and what's going on in its head. Think of it like an emotional gauge. A high, stiff tail, that signals alertness, maybe even dominance, and it's often paired with a really tense body. A tail in its natural mid-level position, that's usually your relaxed, happy-go-lucky pup. But as that tail starts to lower, you're seeing more uncertainty or submission. And a tail tucked all the way under the body, well, that's a crystal clear sign of fear or anxiety. But here is a super important point. Not all tails are created equal. You know, a beagle's tail naturally points up to the sky, while a greyhound's tail usually hangs low. So you have to read these signals relative to your own dog's normal resting tail position. That right there, that's your baseline. Alright, so we've got height down. The next layer to add is speed. Just how fast that tail is moving reveals the dog's level of emotional arousal. And this is where the meaning can change dramatically. I mean, just look at the difference here. On one side, you have that classic happy wiggle. It's fast, it's broad, it's so enthusiastic, it makes the dog's entire body shake from the shoulders back. That's pure, unadulterated joy. But on the other side, you have a high, stiff, fast, vibrating wag. That is a clear warning. It signals intense arousal that could absolutely be a prelude to aggression. Same speed, totally different message. And here's a cool little fact for you. Tail wagging isn't something dogs are born with. Puppies don't actually do it from birth. They have to learn it. And they usually start between 3 and 7 weeks old, right when they begin to really interact with their mom and their litter mates. It's a fully developed social skill, which is pretty amazing when you think about it. Okay, now for a layer of detail that is just mind-blowing. The direction of the wag. Yep, you heard me. Scientists have actually found that whether a dog's tail wags more to its left or its right is directly linked to which side of its brain is more active in that moment. And get this, a wag that's biased more to the dog's right side is associated with positive feelings, like when they see you and they want to approach. But a wag that's biased more to their left side, that's linked to negative feelings and a desire to back away from something, like when they see a big, intimidating dog they don't know. It is an incredibly subtle but really powerful signal. So, we've covered height, speed, and direction. Now it's time to put it all together with what is hands down the most important rule. The whole dog approach. Because remember, the tail is just one piece of a much bigger puzzle. This is basically your mental checklist every time you're trying to decode a wag. First, check the height. That's your emotional meter. Then, note the speed and the width of the movement. See if you can spot a directional bias, right versus left. And finally, and this is the absolute most important step, always zoom out and look at the rest of the body. What are the ears doing? What about the mouth? The overall posture? You can think of it like this. A tail wag is a single word in a sentence. It's an important word for sure, but you need all the other words, the ears, the eyes, the stance, to understand the full story. A happy, wagging tail on a relaxed, wiggly body is a completely different universe from a wagging tail on a dog that's stiff, tense, and staring. Context is everything. So there you have it. You're now officially equipped with the decoder ring to translate the language of the tail. It's such a powerful reminder of how much our dogs are trying to communicate with us all the time. So the real question is, now that you can read this one signal a little more clearly, what other stories is your dog trying to tell you?
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.